Shrishti, you can start.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the third virtual Global Summer School on the Law and Ethics of Artificial Intelligence, organized by KnowledgeTees in collaboration with South Ural State University, Management and Science University, the Ural State Law University, Manipal University, Jaipur, Sohar University, Sultan Idris Education University, Moscow State University. We are all excited to have you join us today. My name is Srishti Agarwal, and I will be the moderator for this session. The host university for this session is Sohar University. Now, without any further ado, I would like to welcome the speaker of our session, Dr. Falah, on the topic Artificial Intelligence and Social Media Challenges. Dr. Falah obtained his master's degree in 2009 and a PhD in 2013 from the esteemed University Technology Malaysia in the field of artificial intelligence. During his time at UTM, he demonstrated exceptional leadership skills as chaired the postgraduate annual research seminar from 2010 to 2012, where he facilitated the postgraduate students' research findings, pitching competition with fellow scholarships and experts. Additionally, he served as the president of the International Student Society from 2011 to 2013, fostering a vibrant multicultural environment at the university. Welcome, sir. Please proceed with the session.
Thank you very much for all of you, and especially you, Ms. Santathi. And really, we are happy to join this talk and this session. Welcoming to all students and participants to this really great job and a great work on the summer school. I'm sure all of the students, they can get benefits from this talk and class session, and also cohabit and exchange culture. I would like to also to thank my colleagues from Sohar University, Dr. Abdullah and Dr. Mahmoud, to joining this for this year to give also deliver the talk. We want to share some experience with our research in the hate speech. Let me just share the yes, this one. Share the slides. You can see slide, guys?
No, sir, it's not visible yet.
What's happened? Should be, yes, here. Now it shares, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, thank you very much. Dear students and participants, the artificial intelligence field is very important now. Is also all the technologies using artificial intelligence. But there is some sites, the researcher is focused on this in artificial intelligence impact fighting on hate speech of social media. As you know, 90% of the people on wide of the world who's using internet is using social media. And the social media is many platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and others. But in the same time, the social media also is being dangerous for those, especially teenagers and young people. Why? Because as many people get a problem with the hate speech and bullying. Hate speech, it's affected to the young people, and even though as adults, the hate speech in social media get a problem, and also many cases go to the courts wide of the world, especially of the Europe countries and also in America. How The hate speech is that's attacked a person or groups beside on the attributes such as race, religions, ethnic origins, and national origins, gender, disability, sexual orientation. Many countries' laws has been described hate speech as the speech, gesture, or conducting, writing, or display that will be projectile of the action against of the protected group or individual in the other membership for the group. But the hate speech before the social media came to our life and our century, it was face-to-face, or maybe it was by message or by the short message SMS. Now social media can the hate speech be as a voice, as video, and text, especially with the comments. Social media platform like a Facebook and Twitter has been concerned about the emerging the abuse of the activities such as intensivity of the hate and also the effectiveness of the behavior toward and to the public. And the social media can be used by many people, and also those people is affected and affect to them personality. Let us to see the video is how the artificial intelligence using in the hate speech.
Protecting online communities from hate speech is incredibly challenging. Hate speech is about more than just text. The nuance of images, memes, and videos makes detecting hate speech even more difficult. And slang and expressions can vary widely across cultures, languages, and regions. To help protect people from hate speech, we've developed two new artificial intelligence technologies, Reinforced Integrity Optimizer and Linformer. To find hate speech, we build AI models by testing different neural architectures and selecting data for training. Normally, all of that is done offline. The model then goes online to see how well it performs in the real world. Reinforced Integrity Optimizer, or RIO, is a groundbreaking system for building and training AI models. RIO connects the online to the offline by continuously learning from billions of real-world examples of both regular content and instances of hate speech. With RIO, we can direct our model training to the most challenging hate speech violations. Optimizing our hate speech detection models more effectively has enabled us to take significantly more actions on hate speech violations than we could with our previous models. To better understand language, AI models have grown bigger with hundreds of millions or billions of parameters. The amount of computations required grows at an unsustainable rate. Linformer is a new innovative AI architecture that makes these systems vastly more efficient. It achieves the same results with linear rather than geometric complexity. This helps us analyze long videos and other complex content. For Facebook, that means near instant action taken on difficult to detect hate speech before it spreads out of billions of posts checked every day. New technologies, RIO and Linformer, have fundamentally advanced AI models, helping us to further our commitment to keep our platforms as safe as possible.
So, from the video, we have been known as now the hate speech recognition is by social media. It started working last 5 years ago. It's especially Facebook is started to do the flag, but still not announced it about it. It's still they are working for improving of that algorithm last 5 years. And the hate speech can be as affecting to the all social media platforms. So with the development of the technology in social media, example like this is a study is from the percentage user in a different social media 2018. Now, of course, is more. In the Facebook, 2.4 billion users. WhatsApp is 1.5 billion, now is double as B. Is also tweet Instagram 1 billion and Twitter lawas. If we can comparing those social media, now we have another platforms like TikTok and others, as you know, guys. Always the social media is the part from our life. Every morning, all of us wake up to check our message and our messenger from the Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram, Twitter, to see what is the news and what's our friends is past. That means is that as a social media be part from our life, we need also to protect our generation and next generations from, unfortunately, is bad people, to affecting them, to using the hate speech. What is the hate speech exactly can do? Example. This is the example, guys, from some of the famous tweeters from the previous study data sets we are collecting. If you see, I hope all the Jewish have the USC device. As you can see, the statement is as a normal. Those who's in the law is especially using the law as techniques of the using the analyze the data and statements in the English or other language. It can be understanding as this is as affecting or hate speech. And those other examples you can read is example, whose would like put hate in put the that's in the water or coffee. Maybe this will be affecting our children's or our friends. The artificial intelligence is be in the recognize and the using many algorithms for voice recognition and text recognition or video or face recognition. With the text, the internet service of the providing and considerable for researchers have been respond for the develop an automatic solution to identify hate speech paraphrase. Ranging of the from simple machine learning models to the more complicated deep neural networks. I will talk later about it also, especially in the ChatGPT. AI ChatGPT also using to paraphrase, but in the paraphrasing, now the ChatGPT is going to use same algorithm for solution this to the for deep learning to affecting and catch the hate speech from recognitions, text recognize or data analysis. For the previous work in the literature, as we have been checked, 2004 is the data set size is 3 million words from the Twitter. They're using techniques SVM. And the result is be more than 80% to get recognition. 2016, it's also the Twitter data set is using 16,000, about 17,000 tweets and with the different results and data sets. They're using chart and games of the word and game. This is algorithm is lowest percentage of the accuracy, but also useful. 2016 also is 22,000 tweets. They're using model also SVM with the other algorithm of classification is the percentage is get higher for score 0.8 for fast text. With 2017 and 18 using different model for the machine learning and deep learning to the hate speech recognition. So how is the hate speech recognition for the text can be work? First, we need to look about the sensitivity. What is the sensitivity? One of the biggest problem and main problem with the detecting the hate speech text in the sensitivity of that machine learning algorithm to the text to the anomalous for recognize. How the sensitivity It's we need to use the machine learning algorithm to remove the space between words that are hateful. Example, some of the countries, many people, especially from Middle East and Morocco, Lebanese people also I saw, they are, when they are doing the comments and they are writing in the any message, they didn't using the full word. Example, hello, it's H, they're using number 7. Oh, they're using LV. Oh, thank you, TQ. For the computers cannot understand this. We need to train all the probabilities. What is the type of the word is maybe to lead to the hate speech. And also the space between the words. This is our very, very big problem in the first, starting artificial intelligence using hate speech. Challenging in the anatomy for the text. Example, seriously, I hate illiterate. A start, B, cheese, or blah, normal. This is normal hits. This is obvious. This is spam, or this threats. What you can see from here, guys. Some of the people is not understanding, especially those who are young. When they get in a message, they are going to link. They're going to get it. Many groups of the hackers, they're using those words. This is part of from hate speech to attack the group or to attack the individual, to get your information, and he's going to threaten you, and he's going to get many what he wants in the future. And many cases is get it in the card about this, especially in social media. So machine learning, it will be to using the learning methodologies is machine learning approach have made the detecting hate speech on the web platform. For us, we need to understand the artificial intelligence and neural network, or artificial neural network, ANN. ANN, it has many algorithms, start from the first generation to the third generation. In this computing system to design, simulate a way for the human brain, it will be going to process information. It's also foundation to the artificial intelligence. It's solve the problem that will provide impossible or difficult by a human statistical standard. Because a human, it has a range of the thinking. Not all the human is same think and same train in the same environments or culture. Because those people who's using hate speech or attack other people may be from different culture, different environments, different language, but they are very smart to using the words to the attack the group or individual. The artificial intelligence is very helpful for using this to can detect all, have the self-learning to the capabilities for enable them to produce better results as more data become available. So the dynamic of the process of hate speech detection using artificial intelligence neural network is like this here. We have a data, the data came to the server, and from the server, the data adding the text train file, and after that, a training test file are shared to the cloud storage. Then from cloud storage, the algorithm of the artificial intelligence detection is beginning of the start with the training. And after that, we're going to use a testing for the subsequent response to the made beside on the one of the last train cycle and go to the beyond of the result post of the published or maybe rejecting. before you're going to get publish your comments, should be go to do this process. When you do the comments or you're going to add any text to the any post or your friends or the group or others, you're receiving the message, they should be go to do this process. But this is very fast, within a few seconds should be do it. And the algorithm and the head speech dynamic process of the artificial intelligence should be decided, publish or reject. This will be user for device, and after that, the user to embed of the post on the forms, any platforms. Before 5 years, it's the Facebook's companies, they are doing this research, but they're not going to detect only the text. They do just a flag for the head speech. But also, when they are decided, they need to do the head speech recognition to decided publish or reject. The natural language process is the process of the converting a human words into numbers of the vectors machine can be understanding. A way of the working between the words and the human for the word of the machine learning need to do the data classification. If we're going to data classification, there is many process. Data cleaning. And data cleaning, that means remove stop, words, stream, and technician. The implementation of the terms of the frequency, inverse of the document frequency TF IDF, which is weights word, like example, when I say to you the, difference from say to you the. When I say to you high, difference from say to you high. The weight of the words is important also when the people want talk or writing. They're going to check the weight of the word, each word, what will be like the which get removed or not added to the list meaning. Sometimes some of the words, if we remove it, the statements will be clean, or maybe the statements will be more understandable. So the common of the method of the classification text including first, sentence analysis, topic labeling, language detection, and intent detect. So far, this is the classification cycle for the clean, accumulation, classification, tokenization. So, model of implementation of that advanced tool using make sure our model is not overfit to our trained data. And the way of that's making it's excellent classification data is important for testing. First example, we're going to use Nevabytes, Big, boosting, random forest. We can also do the classification intelligence with the full fit data to our training data. We need to use this algorithm, protection of the process of head speech or any text. Can classification intelligence predict the separate of online head speech? One of the data trained with the enough training sample, we need to know how many times of the training for machine learning, or how many times for the testing, the percentage, what the type of the classification to make accurate prediction of the data sets. The features of the extract of the using the transform unknown text features set that can be fit on the classification model to the get a prediction on the either head speech or not. Like here, text, go to the feature extracted, then the feature on analysis, and then we're going to classify model and decide it, is it head speech or not head speech. So dealing with the challenging in the classification text, we need to have multiple of the classification. With this is basing of the multiple of the classification approach called binary classification relevant method. Or maybe voting based of the classification. This is classification help balance out of individual classifier. Transfer learning and weak supervision classification. There is many for that's training or algorithm to identify to hate speech. So far, limited of the classification hate speech, its currently available model have relevance number of the limitation of including transmission and share of the hate speech message. The data, from where, how can get it? Need many ethic approves to get the data. It's not easy. Issues of associated with the various local language. Difference, Arabic, Indian, Russian, Malaysian, English, French, Spain, Portuguese, right? Running out of the vocabulary terms also. Long-term dependent and many more. This limitation can be used to the features blessing of the study in this area. For our research, my team is now still working with the spiking in neural network of neurons. This is the third generation of the algorithm for neural networks. Different from second generation as those who have been known about artificial intelligence. Third generation, I used to before 2009, for the first one in Asia developed the spiking in neural network. Spiking neural network has input and output, is more biological from second generation and first generation, like SVM and others. Has just only input and output. There is no hidden layer. They're using like a brain is do the spike when they send the data between others. So the spike artificial intelligence target if and only the grade for synapse potential beginning or with that threshold neuron. And after we merged the third generation spiking neural network with the second generation, I did with the spike probe backpropagation, I called spike probe. So far, the architecture of this research, we did hate speech classification using a neural network. Here, we get the data and approve and get ethic from the example, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Still, we are working in the ethic forms. Until now, we don't get it approved. Getting many long time and long process to get it this data. Some of the data, not all the data. Then social media objects, and then maybe Twitter data, and source of the methods of the API extracting, and after that is decided will be a project representing joints, or we're going to have fingering of the data, and then training the data with our methods, and after that testing with the rules of the system, online clustering from the server, and then we'll go to the spike neural network classifier and decided is it hate speech or not hate speech. And why are we using the artificial intelligence third generation of a neural network? This is not just more biological and get high accuracy. It's very fast. In the normal second generation of artificial intelligence, we are talking about a huge billion of the data and words every milliseconds can post on the social media. This is in normal artificial intelligence. One part of the thousands or maybe 1 tera of the data take maybe 1 day to training. In spiking a neural network using GPU, it take 1 second. See how it's be very fast and why spiking a neural network is using for very useful. We are the first people is using spiking neural network, and very soon as we're going to publish about this, our research. After that, we emerging our head speech to the voice recognition. Sohar University, the first university in Middle East, they're using Farhat robots. This is a project under my grants. Last year, we get the grant and we bought this robot from Netherlands, from the Farhat robots. This is social robots. He speak all language word of the world. He has different voice recognition. He can recognize and detect 10 people's face-to-face objects. And he can change his face in the different mask, different personality. He can be using different personality depend on the emotion of any people is doing. We are using here, we test in the many lectures, and he's be as a teachers, and also he's using now, our research is using with the autism kids, how to improve them speech and attitudes. When the ChatGPT came in the new world now, last few months, we are talking with the company, and now we are working hardly to get approved to match ChatGPT with the Farhat robots to head speech recognition automatically. No need the people doing the programming. Now the Farhat robot, we programming Farhat robot with the different platform of the language like Java, like Python, and also other language programming. But now we need the ChatGPT is merged with this to recognize head speech online. And this is part of our work for the voice, not only the text head speech recognition. We need to use the Farhat robots to recognize the voice head speech in the future. But the company now is dealing with working hard with the Sohar University, and we did many meetings. And next month we have also a meeting with how emerge and do maybe if not ChatGPT can deal with them, we can maybe it's doing same ChatGPT we call Farhat ChatGPT recognition, speech and text recognition in the social media. And this is the Farhat robot text speech social media, and get it more. Thank you so much, guys, for listening about this talk. I hope you got a good information and knowledge from this session. And if you have any question, please, I'm here ready to try to answer you and clarify. Any questions, guys? Even in the chat, or if you would like to raise the hands or open your mic to ask me the question. If anyone is interested also in the future, he can communicate with me through this email, and he can also get maybe work in the research in the ChatGPT with the Farhat robots, or maybe head speech recognition with the different algorithm. How do we get the data sets for social media? Hannah, Miss Hannah, actually the data set is a bigger problem with the old researcher. Our master and PhD students, when they came meet us, the first things before we are talk about and decided what the titles and the field they are studying, we are searching about the data set is available or not. You can create your data set by own from your own social media, own accounts, but not enough. There is many ethic approval. You can email to the a vendor or the people who's in charge in the social media, like a Facebook, now we are doing this. There is many ethic approval. We need also ethic from the person who's using social media. We need to get approval from them, and then we can get it. Some of the data set is ready for the other researcher. They get use it. We borrow from them and we put them as a citation. They already finished the social media approval. Okay. Neha, she's asked other question. How ability can be detected if the person use AI to separate hate speech? I don't understand exactly the question. How ability can be detected if a person use AI to separate hate speech? This is a questions or mean that's how to use the separate AI using the hate speech. As if you go to the last slides, and I tell you how is it. In the separate hate speech, see, first we need to take the text. The text is as the statements. Each statement has how many words? First, we need to remove the space. And after that, we go to the feature extracted. And also, each word, we need to get what is the weightage for this each word. And after that, from the feature extracted, we need to go to the features and then classifier model. Classifier model, he will going to recognize what is this is a hate speech or not. Okay, sir, I want to ask if the offender of using AI separating hate speech, then how will be able to find the offender, that what will be their liability? As I tell you, as I told you, each word is what example. If I'm now talking with you as a lecture, when I talk with you face-to-face or not face-to-face in the message, I send you a message, my weight of the word is heavy. Example, when I told my friends in the any meeting or others, hello, hi, how are you? But when I meet one people, I don't like him. Sorry, I like all the people. But example, I say to you, hello. This is my feeling is mean that the weight of the word when I say hello, that's mean is hit. Yes, Neha, please ask me if you can open the mic. Neha, she's raised her hand. Can you talk, please? Neha, are you there? Mr. City is allow Neha to talk, not allowed to mute. So please allow Mr.
Yes,
allow
sir. I have allowed Neha to unmute.
Yes, please allow Neha. Now you are unmute.
Sir, my question was that if an offender which uses AI for spreading hate speech, here we are talking about that how can we detect if there is any hate speech, what is the research for that? But if offender is using AI, then how we will be able to find that offender, and what will be the liability of that particular offender? For example, if a person who is using my laptop and I don't know that he is using my laptop with the help of AI, then the person who has done so is responsible, or the IP address which is gone through my laptop will be responsible. So my question was that if offender is using AI for spreading hate speech, then how we will detect that through the help of AI, and who will be responsible for that hate speech?
Well, thank you very much, Neha, for clarifying for this question. This is another part of the security. When we talk about the hate speech, we don't care about a vendor he's using your laptop or not. That means that the offender of the attacker, they attacked your laptop, they're using hate speech. We cannot do it. We just recognize and separate the hate speech from our system. But if he attacked, there is another method, those from the security. Next session, Dr. Abdullah, he will going to talk about the network with the AI, how to protect the computers and your device. That's difference. This is not part from artificial intelligence to find who's attacked your computer. The hate speech online, no, just only using in the social media, what is the words and comments, if that is allowed or not allowed. If the offender is using your laptop and using hate speech and separate, of course, our system, he is not going to publish, rejected, because there is hate speech. Even you, if I'm using my account and I want to publish something, the server of the social media, example, Facebook or others, if we're doing this, he will not allow me to publish. Example now, as many video came as a block, because there is some is scary or not low for publish this video, example, animal die or something, people injured. The Facebook already have using this to block the video. Even you are publish the normal video, but the Facebook block that video. If you are more than 18 years, you would like to see if there is a video is very, very dangerous, of course, the Facebook server automatically will be rejected. Same is go with the hate speech text. But for the laptop or attacked or your devices, this is a security for hackers. Even he's attacked or using your laptop, he cannot publish in your own account, because we not talk about the hate speech model using AI for your own laptop. No, this will be in the server of the social media, even from your own laptop or from other laptop or other device. Clear, Neha? You got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for clarification.
You too. Other students, please. Other questions? Any question? Okay, there is in chat. Sir, I have one. Yes, what? Yes, please. Can you allow Harshit to using unmute him in the chat box? Harshit, Santini, please allow Harshit to be.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes. Hello. Hi.
Greetings, sir.
Greeting. Thank you very much.
So, firstly, thank you for this extraordinarily informative session. Now, my query actually relates to the code that are used in AIs to detect hate speech, which I believe cannot be that precise, right? My question is that whether AI can be trusted with such tasks without human discretion or supervision.
Can you repeat your question again, because some is hesitation from your voice?
Sir, am I audible now?
Yes.
Sir, my query relates to that the code that are used in AIs to detect hate speech cannot be that precise, as per what I know. Then my question actually relates to the point that whether AIs can be trusted with such tasks without human discretion or supervision.
So, to be honest, is AI cannot be trusted AI 100%, because the AI doesn't have a feeling and doesn't have as decision. The AI, how it can get the decision? When we're going to put is the training data with the more data probabilities. We need to cover all probabilities in the social media comments. After that, we can trust the AI. Example now, of course, you use the ChatGPT. Did you use the ChatGPT or not? Right? Yes. Did you trust the ChatGPT to write your email 100%? No. Why? Because the ChatGPT, he has a train for some of the data, not all the data wide of the world. But after a few years, he will get all data is used in the server. And after that, you can trust him. Improve step by step. That's why when your question is, of course, we cannot trust, but we try to get step by step what the data available we train and test. If there is another new data came, we should train and test on that new data, new comments, and after that we can trust. But at least that's why it's almost researcher, previous researcher, they get accuracy 70 to 80. There is nobody can get 100%. We try to make it 100%. But what is the artificial intelligence neural network doing? When they try to train the data and test, and when going to implementing, we need to get is minimum error near of the zero. Minimum error, that's mean near of the zero. That's why I use the spiking neural network. If you read about the spiking neural network, this is a very, very useful and more biological is for use any classification and recognition. Okay, in addition to the same, but natural technology and the world is dynamic, and ever the change can the AI actually scope up with the same. Yes, can, maybe can, but unfortunately AI cannot scope 100% of the data. We are as a programmer and as scientific of the artificial intelligence, we try to make scope 100%, but impossible. What we do to list the error, to make it nearest of the zero. How much the error is near of the zero, that's mean our accuracy will be high and we can trust. You can trust all the pilot of the airplane when you go travel? No. You can trust those who has, example, much of the time of the flight. Did you trust one he's a junior? No, you trust for the senior. But still not 100% secure. Did you trust the taxi driver when you go to anywhere far away? You are trust those who has a license, has a train well, they have no error, but impossible 100% there is an error. Same AI. Got it? Thank you very much. Other question, please. Who's raised his hand or in the chat box? You are welcome. Anytime, this is my email, guys, and please let me know or email to me. We can work together. If you have any idea for research, we can do it together.
Thank you so much, sir.
You too, you too. I'm going to stop the share.
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to ask Dr. Mahmoud Al-Bahri. He will join us for this session. Dr. Mahmoud, are you there? Please allow Dr. Mahmoud to be as I couldn't
Yes, sir.
see. Okay.
I have made Sir the co-host. He can share his screen if he wants.
Yeah, Dr. Mahmoud, please unmute your computer and please share the slides.
Now we are moving forward with the session. I would like to call upon Dr. Mahmood. He is a distinguished scholar and scientist specializing in systems, networks, and information communication devices, possessing a solid education foundation and vast expertise in teaching, conducting research. He has made a notable advancements in the field. Through his exceptional skills, guidance, and unwavering commitment, Dr. Mahmood has played a vital role in advancing the field of systems, networks, and information communications devices. Sir has been working as an assistant professor in the Faculty of Computing and Information Technology at Suhar University. I would like to welcome Sir. Sir, please proceed with the session.
Dr. Mahmoud, please unmute yourself and start if you can. And open your camera. Okay, I'm coming to your office. Miss Santini, your voice is muted, Dr. Mahmoud. Just open the mic, please. Below.
Sir, your mic is mute. Please unmute your mic.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I could not unmute my microphone. Okay, so thank you very much. I am Dr. Mahmoud Al-Bahri, Assistant Professor at Suhar University, and I am very happy to present or to share my knowledge with the students. In these minutes, I mean in 45 minutes I will talk 3 topics. Here we have 3 topics. We are going to talk about the fundamentals of the Internet of Things. Then we will move or we'll scale to the LB1 technologies. LB1 is one of the applications of the Internet of Things. Here we have when we talk about the LB1, we are talking about the LoRaWAN. We are talking about the Sigfox technology. We are talking about the narrowband IoT. Then we will move to the effective of the 5G and the perspective of the 6G networks to the IoT networks. First of all, let's talk. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the internet. I think all of you here, or most of you, know about the concepts of the Internet of Things. So, but let's remind you about what is the internet before talking about the LB1 technology, before talking about the 5G and 6G to the for the IoT networks. So here we will cover in the first sessions or the first topics about the history of the Internet of Things or the history of the IoT. Also, what is the IoT and general architecture or structure of the Internet of Things. The roadmap of the IoT, Internet of Things evaluations, or the new dimensions of, or the 3 dimensions of the Internet of Things. And we are talking about the application. We talk about the application of the what IoT. So first of all, if we talk about the history of the Internet of Things, means that the first person who let's say who use or who connect or who could control device over the what internet. So Romke is the what the first person in 1990. He could connect the twister. It is what device, and he connect what he could turn off and turn on this device, the twister. I means using IP network, IP network. But still, the concept of Internet of Things at that time is not used. Just what like automations or some of these concepts. So this is what the first using of the Internet of Things. So as we said here, but Kevin Ashton here give the concepts of the Internet of Things in 1999. So the first researcher who used this concept, the Internet of Things. At the time it was what here the group of research, this called Auto ID Center, and here global research network of academic laboratories focused only on the radio frequency identification. So because they say that the first applications of the Internet of Things at that time is after the concept of the Internet of Things is radio frequency identifications. So that is and then the LG starts to create their coolers and their device based on the Internet of Things, or the smart, we can call it smart cooler. Also in 2005, the International Telecommunication Union published ITU, I mean here the ITU that committee or the ITU union means that located in the Geneva published the first report on the Internet of Things. The number of the devices of the Internet of Things, or the number of devices or things that are connected to the Internet of Things increased. Then in 2012, the ITU published the first recommendations of using ITU. Recommendations means the first standards of using ITU. Here, this is the recommendation called the overview of the Internet of Things. So after that, from the 2012 starts using the concept of the Internet of Things in the universities. The university starts to open IoT laboratory. They start to develop systems based on the Internet of Things. In 2015, the ITU create group, and this group called Group 20. I was there when they create this group. This group called Group 20. This group focus only on the Internet of Things, and it is what applications. And it is an application include the smart city, because when we talk about the Internet of Things, we are talking about the smart cities, we are talking about the smart hospital, we are talking about the smart home, we are talking about smart building, smart everything's what every device we every thing that can connect to the what to the internet, and we can control to this what to this device. So group 20, it is what assigned to what to study the applications and the challenges of the what internet of things. This group is what is consists members of the researchers from each university in the world, top researchers, and as we said, what they focus on the what applications. Sometimes is what they develop the standards of using what this, for example, the network standards. For example, if we have to make what the frequency standards and everything, they standardize the systems. This is okay. So what is what Internet of Things here? Internet of Things, as we said, what it is, what here we have internet and we have things. So we have network of what physical objectives. Network of what we have network set of physical objectives. This objectives can be what device, can be what vehicles, can be buildings, any what items, and these items what it's what embedded with the what electronics, software, sensors, actuators, and this objective physical objects can connect what to the internet. It has possibility to what to connect to the internet using any wireless what technology, using any wireless technology, using Wi-Fi, for example, using Zigbee, for example, using Z-Wave, for example, or any wireless what technology that can be what able to connect to the internet. So this objective what can collect or exchange data between what collect data if the object is sensors or any, or it can what do some mechanisms, receive what comments from the what from the application layer to what to do some what mechanism. So in general, the Internet of Things here is what referred to the wireless network between objects, I mean here between objects, things, between object or things, and what and usually this networks will be what self-configuring, such as what household appliances. So it is what self-configuring. Should this network is what should recover their what their selves when we have what problems. So here we have the Internet of Things. It is what automations of the process, but here we have full automations. We are not talking about the only automations of the, for example, of traditional process. We are talking about the automations and create actions, and what if there is any problem, what configure what self-configuring if any problems or any challenges or any problem. So that's what about the Internet of Things. Here we have some concepts of the Internet of Things. Thing, for example, what does mean thing here? Anything beside traditional computer, or the desktop or laptop. See, anything's here. For example, table, it is what things we can code. If we make the sensor inside of the, or if we develop tables with the sensor, and this sensor collect informations about these tables, from where is bought, how old is it, where is it, also many information about this table, and we can collect this information from the internet. So we can call this table as Internet of Things. So the thing has somewhat functions, use keep item code or project if we talking about this device. If you compare the traditional one, for example, here, this is the traditional device. We add IoT device to this. For example, here we have Arduino, for example. So we will get and this Arduino collect information from different sensors, and also send comments to different actuators, so we can get smart device or smart coolers. Here, if we talk about the most important is the general architectures of the Internet of Things. We have 4 layers. We have here 4 layers. The first layer is, as you see, is sensor and actuator layer. This is the first layer. It is set of the sensors and actuators. We have different types of sensors, different types of actuators. They are communicate between them. Also, the second layer is gateway. You see gateway layers. So here we have controller, for example, Arduino or anything. The connections between the gateway and the sensor layers. So here, if we are talking about the smart home low distance, for example, so we are talking about the Zigbee, for example. Zigbee Zigbee network. Okay, it is like Wi-Fi. Also, if you are talking about the smartphone, we can use Z-Wave, for example. Z-Wave. Okay. So Z-Wave is about the, if you are talking about the 100, 150 meters, 200 meters. So we are using, and for example, Bluetooth, we can use Bluetooth, you can use Wi-Fi and different. But for the smart cities, we cannot use this wireless technology. We are using their different technology. It is LB1 technology. Why we cannot use, for example, the cellular network 4G, for example, because here the problem of the powers. As you see, the smart sensor is based on the battery, based on the battery. So we cannot use, for example, Wi-Fi in most of applications. We need to change the battery in all of the sensor. If you have 1,000 agriculture, for example, there is 1,000 of sensors, so we cannot change every week the battery. So the most is to change the protocol, the wireless technology. So Zigbee is the best till now so far. Is the best protocol used in wireless in short distance. I mean here in short distance. But in long distance, we can use as we say, LB1 technologies. LB1 technology means here? Low power wide area networks. Low power wide area networks, and this is under of this we have LoRaWAN, for example. This wireless technology. LoRaWAN. We have Sigfox, for example. We are going to talk about in next Sigfox. We have, for example, narrowband IoT. narrowband what IoT. So this is what this network are working in 10 kilometers. It can what exchange the data between the sensors and the gateway in 10 kilometers, and it can keep what the power in the sensor for 8 years, for example, because of the what of the mechanisms, because of the that used in this what sensor, because of the methods of the work and step of this what of the net of the sensors. So this is what the second layer between the second and the third layer is what is the cloud what layers. And here cloud, and again here we have based on the what application, we have different types of cloud. We have, for example, private cloud. We have it's based on the application, hybrid cloud. We have public cloud or community cloud. Also, we have based on the application of this what sensor. We have SaaS, software as service. We have BaaS, platform as a service, and we have IaaS, that's mean what infrastructure as a service. So all of this what is cloud, what the layer of clouds. The last application in the in architecture of the IoT is what applications. The last layers. Application is what is provide methods to what to show the data. It provide, for example, how we can the data are exchanged between the cloud computing and the different types of applications, for example, between the dashboard, how we can send the comments to the what mechanism, for example, if we talk about the smart home, for example. So smart home, we have sensors. Let's say what motion sensor. Here we have what motion sensor. So this is what sensor, it's not actuator. And we have smart switch, for example. This is what smart switch. Smart switch is what is switch, is not collect data. Motion is collect data about the what, about the movements. But smart switch, for example, is what turn off and turn on the, for example, the light, for example. Let's see, this is what the small what or the easy example. So we need what also here we have actuators. Actuator is what relay. So we need what application, we need good protocol what to send the comments when we want to, when the turn off or the turn on the relay, for example. And what is the best protocol used what between the application and for example MQTT protocol or QoP protocols. Here we are using QoP protocol or MQTT. Both of them are using what in the IoT what networks. So here we need what the delay of the response between the application layers, and it should be what should be less than 1 millisecond or 1 milliseconds. So that's what the general architectures of the what general architecture of the Internet of Things. There we talked about the sensors. So what are the difference between sensors and what actuator? As we said before, we have what we have motion sensor. So means sensor, what we call motion is as a sensor because it's collect what data, receive information about the surrounding, for example, environment. For example, temperature is a sensor, is not actuators. Collect data. Humidity, for example, what else about IR, what infrared, what also collect data. So the device that collect data and based on this data make some things is what is we call it what sensor. But the actuators is what, as you know, actuator is make some mechanism, is what is the actuator cannot what, for example, collect data, is what is waiting data, is waiting what comments to make what mechanism, some mechanism. For example, here we have what, for example, the okay, we have, for example, relay, as we said, what relay, servo, for example, stepper motor, for example. What else? So most of this what are actuator that make some mechanism. For example, here adding lighting, for example, heat, sound, controlling motors or move objects, as we said, displaying message, for example, and all of this. So this function are making what some mechanism or some movements. Things. So things is, as we say, it can be what any objects. Things is it can be what sensor and what actuators general. It has what it will, for example, use powered by battery, as we said what before. It is what small size and low in cost. The things that we are talking in the Internet of Things. Things, it can be what also microcontrollers. It can what communication units that we have discussed. Communication units means what the modules that used what to exchange the data, to transfer and to receive the data. The modules, Bluetooth module, or a Wi-Fi module, or Zigbee module. So this is what the communication what. The power supply also what how we can supply the power to the what to the all of these what things. As we said what here, the power consumption is what the main challenges in the what Internet of Things is what the power. The communications, we have what discussed about the communications between the between the first layer itself, what inside of the first layers, how the sensor can communicate between each other, and between the sensor and actuator layer and what gateway layers. So here the role of communication is what to provide data link between two what nodes. If we are talking here about the inside of the what networks, inside of the wireless sensor and actuator networks, communication type here traditional, it can be what wire, line, copper, for example, or optical fiber. It used before, but now we cannot what is not professional to use what wire, if it is based on the what, based on the application. Also we have wireless, as we said, what radio frequency means what here all technology, wireless what technology that we have discussed before, and what infrared, if the application, for example, between the remote or, for example, or device, any device, AC, for example, to a remote and AC, is what we have infrared. Here, this is what the standard of the Zigbee, for example. This is what IEEE 802.15.4. So this is what the Zigbee what protocol that we have what discussed. Here we have what Wi-Fi, as you know, Bluetooth. We have what a near field NFC, near field communication, and radio frequency identification. So this is what the communications. What does mean what communications between the different what things in IoT. The networks. Also, the networks here. we have wireless sensor between the wireless sensor networks inside. Mobile wireless ad hoc networks. Here we have what managed. If we have some of the sensors are not what are not fixed in one place, so it is what it's mobile. It's movable. So we need what mobile wireless. We need what mobile wireless for this what for these applications. We have mesh networks, and we have what vehicle ad hoc what networks. Vehicle ad hoc networks. So this is what about the what in general what networks. The main what here the issues should be the network should be what reliability and should be the performance of the network. The performance of the networks here we are talking about the most important is here the delay of the what networks between the application layer and the last what layer. This is what example of the what Internet of Things. So internet till now the internet use, as you know, is what IP protocol, TCP, transmission control protocol. So the sensor should support this type of protocols. The most important also that there is no till now the identifications of the what of the sensors. The identification of the what of the sensors. So how we can identify these sensors using what IP protocol. IP protocol are finished here. I stop what here. This is what IP protocol. So after that, after this, how we can identify, how we can find, for example, where is the location of this? How we can find. So what's the best mechanism to identify this what device using what using also the IP, it is what it's IP for the networks, it's not for the what for the object, it is what address for networks, but the address for the device, what's the best, what's what the best serial number, using serial number, using MAC address, using what else. So this is what also the challenges of the what Internet of Things. One of the challenge of the Internet of Things is what is the identification of devices. The roadmap, this is what we have talked about this. The number, as you see, what the number of devices that are connected to the internet in as you see here in 2015, the number is what around 15,000. 15 what? 1,000. Now we have what the number is 15 what connected what devices is what 50 what 50,000 what 50,000 devices that are connected to the internet, and in 2025 they are what is what acceptable that 70,000. So this is what the number of devices that are what connected to the internet. Here we can see what we can see the applications of this what the different applications. For example, in industry, this is what the industry, or this is what the industry. You can see most of this what industry. The consumer, if you see business, shipments is not what clear. The computers, this is what the computers. Medical also we can use in hospital, for example. So this is what the use of the Internet of Things. As we said, what the current what the relationship between the humans and IoT devices. In 2003, we have 6.3 billion of the population, world population, but we have 500 million of connected devices. In 2010, we have 6.8 billion, but we have 12 billion of the what connected devices. And here they are talking 50 billion, 50 connected devices, 7.6 billion of the what population. So what is the only things what permanent in this what world. So the new definitions of the Internet of Things, or the new what, it's not the main what definition of the Internet is what anytime connection, the sensor or the things should be connected to the Internet anytime. The things should be connected to the Internet any place, in any place, and anything can connect to the what, to the Internet. So when we talk about the anytime, so on the move for outdoors and indoors, night, daytime, for example, when we are talking about the place connection, so we are talking about the movement if we have indoors at the what PC, for example, or anything. Also, when we are talking about the anything, so human to human connection, human to things connection, for example, things to things what connections. And now we have new concepts. It's what Internet of everything, Internet of the what, everything. Okay, we have talked about this. Also this is what about the nano Internet of Things. It's what one of the perspective of the Internet of Things, what application. It is what nano Internet of Things. It is what it is the same what architecture of the what normal Internet of Things. But here we have what everything is what nano. For example, here we have ACG sensors that what monitor the heart. We have motion sensors. We have also here gateway sensor, what gateway. So all the body is covered by the what, by the sensors, by the what, by the nano sensor that measures or that measure what, or that control the diabetes, for example, control the temperature, for example, control the pressure, for example, or everything's covered. And all of these what sensors are sending what the data through the what, through the gateway, the gateway, then what to the Internet, then to the applications. So this is what one of the perspective of the IoT what, IoT technology. Here we have also things connected to the vehicle, for example, sensor, holy cow, for example. That's what about the fundamentals about the what Internet of Things. Now we will talk about the LB1 technology. Can you see the second? What? I will stop sharing, then I will again share this one. Okay, share. Okay. The one, as we said what before, the one of the applications or one of the networks of the Internet of Things is LB1. LB1 is short for low power wide area networks. LB1 is the, we can say, is what the provider of the what Internet of Things applications, or the vendor of the what Internet. So what is LB1 technology? LB1 technology, as we said, well, it's low power wide area networks, and it is what one of the types of the wireless telecommunications. And this what networks or this technology, wireless technology, is what designed to allow long range. This is what the first designed what to allow long range communication at low bit also. Low what bit. So here we have what we cannot, for example, so far we cannot send image, for example, we cannot send video using what this networks. This network only what is for the low bit of the what of the data. So it is what for long range communications, as we see 10 kilometers, for example, and it can see to a low bit and what consume few watt of the battery, and based it on the what, as we see, it will base it on the battery. This what devices based it on the battery. So the low power one, a low bit rate, and we're intending what is what distinguish this type of network from the what, from the another wireless area networks, another from the wide area networks, from the, for example, 3G, from 5G, from 4G, is what that the low bit. So that can what carry more data using, I mean, what than other one. The LB1, the data rate of the LB1, the data rate of the LB1 is from the what, from 0.03 kilobit per second to the what, to the 50 kilobits per second. This is what the data rate of the what, of the L1. So you can see what we have, the what, low data rate here we have, comparing with the what, comparing with the 5G and 4G. If you see the working, the principal work of this what transmission is what physical layer here we have based on the what radio system. The lower the bit rate, the more energy. So we have, if we have low bit rate, so we have what, we can save what more energy is what invested in each bit, and easy to what to this from the what, from the noise. Also the low data rate allow you to what, to achieve greater range of the what receptions. This is what the main keys of this what, of this technology. Here we have what the architectures. It is what it is like, it is IoT architectures. We have here sensors, for example, smart meters, smart energy, smart gas, for example, sensor, smart water meter, or smart meter for water, smart meter for electricity, smart meter for the gas, or anything here. Usually they use what, the star topology, the LB1 that we use what, star topology means. Star topology, here we have the centralized stations, we have what, centralized stations, and all these devices are what exchange the data between the sensor to and what base stations, stations. And this, as we said, what LB1, it can be what under of this LB1 is general technology, but it can be LoRaWAN, as we said. It's what gateway LoRaWAN. It can be what the Sigfox or narrowband, or any providers. Here we have till now, maybe we have 5 providers that used, I mean a popular provider or popular what LB1 stations. So the exchange data between the base station and sensor, as we see it, based on the what, this network. So these networks used usually for the what, for the smart cities, where we need what, to exchange the data over the what, the 10 kilometers, for example. Here we have the server that, or cloud, that collect all the data, that process the data, that was, we have what, different services, and we have what, control devices. As we said, what network of urban, of city, for example, and it can be what we can scale the data, the networks scalable. So this what network it can be what scale. This is what integrations, the LB1 networks with the different integration. LB1 networks with the difference, for example, different base station. Here, for example, if we have Zigbee, for example, for smart home, we have LB1 networks, for example, the end device. Here, the integration, the Zigbee with the what? With the serial networks. So device or modem with the LB1 model transmit data over the air to what? To the base stations. Here, this is because of the wireless network. The station receives signal from all devices within its what? Range, digitize, and transmit to remote servers. To the what? To the remote server, to the cloud, using what? Available communication, for example, using Ethernet or cell network or satellite. After that, what the data received on the server is used for the display, for example, for analyze, to analyze, or for reporting and decision what? Making. Decision what? Sometimes we need to make what? Decisions. So here we have what? Device management software updates are what? Performed using the reverse communication what? Channels. So after analyzing, after displaying, so we will make what? Decisions, or again what? The application layers should what? Reverse what? The communication to the what? To the sensors. We have, this is what the different frequency of the different what? Frequency of the LB1 technology. For example, 2.4 gigahertz. It's usually for the Zigbee. Here we have 868 megahertz for the what? For the I mean in ASEAN use this what? 483 megahertz used in LoRaWAN that used in Europe, for example. So that's what, that is the general what about topology of the networks. The benefits of the, or the characteristics of the advantage of using LB1 is what? Long range, as we said, what is what? Long range. So we can see in the data what? In 10 from 10 to 15 kilometers. Also, the second is what? The consumption of the power is what? Very low here in I mean here in end device, because end device is what? Based on the what? Battery. So it's what? Powered by what? By battery. So because of the small data package that's sent to the gateway, so this what? This features what? Make the power, or make the using of what? Of power is what? Is low. Also we have high network what? Stability over the what? So we can what? The network, as we said, what? It can be what? Scalable. No need to obtain what? Frequency permit and pay for the what? Radio spectrums. Radio what? This one unlicensed is what? Unlicensed what? Frequency. But we have what? Disadvantage of using what? LB1. Because of the low throughput, we cannot see everything. The delay is here. Sometimes is what? Very high. The data in the data transmission from the sensor to the application. I mean here, the leak of the single standard that defines. This is what I have said before in first what? Here there is no standard of the what? Define the physical layers. So what's the method how we can identify these networks, how we can identify this device? So now there is leak of what? Of signal standard. There's no standard, one standard that used to what? To identify this what? This physical layer. I mean here the sensor and actuators. if you compare the LB1 technologies with the other wireless technology, as you see here, we have what based on the data rate and range. This is what the short range wireless technology. We can see here the NFC near field communication and RFID, that's mean radio frequency is what the short is what, and the data rate is very low here. The range is very short, 10 meters. For example, in NFC, we have 10 meters only, the maximum 10 meters. Radio frequency identification, it can be 50 or 20 meters, 20 watt meters. You know about the Bluetooth 6 low band, Zigbee. Zigbee is what is in the what short range, and also it has the data rate is very low, the data rate. You can see where is the LB1 technology. LB1 technology located here. The range is very high. The range is very high. I mean here the distance, the range here, the distance, but the data rate is is very low. The data rate is is very low comparing with here we have, for example, the data rate is is good, medium, and no, the data rate is very high, I mean, and the range is also is not bad or medium, the range of the 5G, for example. That's about where we can use this technology, as we see in industrial for monitoring system, for example, the automation of the collections of meter readings, as we said before, smart meters. We said all of types, but smart meters. We can control the agriculture, for example. Agriculture, we can control all of the process. We can automate the process of the agriculture. The energy, as we said, housing and communal services. The communal service remote collection of meter, water, heat, gas. The agriculture, as we monitoring soil, for example, monitoring temperature, monitoring the lighting and solar radiations. Urban city, smart city, where we can use in the smart lighting control, traffic monitoring, parking, for example, space, temperature control, noise control, humidity control, lighting. So all air, water pollution, all of this the using of in smart city. About also in medicine, wearable device based on the LB1. We have devices that you can wear it, and they are connecting to the cloud based on the IoT. In productions and supply systems, motor transport, also motor transport in the field of the transport. Environment monitoring, as we said, the quality, how we can monitor the quality of the water, the quality of the air, or the rivers and the lakes. We can base it on the LB1 technology. That's all about that's all about the IoT technology, about the LB1 technology. So do I have time, or there's any? I want to talk about the 5G and 6G and what are the 5G and 6G to the IoT. But if there is no time, we can move it to another day.
Sir, you can.
I can, okay. Where is it? Share. Okay, the last thing, in 10 minutes, let's talk about this one, about the 6G wireless communications for IoT. So we know about the 6G. It will come after 7, maybe after 7 is what accepted in 2023. And they talk that 6G is what network 2030 as ITU, So 6G. So what are the benefits? The 6G for the what? For the IoT. If we talk about the artificial intelligence, what's mean? Artificial intelligence means what? How we can process in general, how we can process the data that is coming from the IoT devices, for example, the huge of number. How we can process smartly this data, how we can make actions. So all of this, what the artificial intelligence, what how to use what the data of the Internet of Things. So I think is what the driver of the fourth industrial revolution. The 5G is what it came for to support what? Support Internet of Things. To support what? Internet of Things applications and artificials. The 6G will come to support more and more the application of the what? Artificial intelligence. Artificial what? Intelligence. So as we said, what the internet, we have talked about the Internet of Things. It's what network of the networks. We see the concept network for data transfer between the physical what. We said also it's what the concept is what formulated in 1999. Science what that time the concepts is what of the internet is used. This is what the another architecture of the Internet of Things. We have, for example, here sensor. We have here collecting what data for collecting what data. Here we have what we have the stations of the or the gateway. We have cloud computing here, and what the application what layer, the application layer. So the 5G is what IoT is is what now is used what 5G networks is used what 5G networks what to distribute what the devices of the internet to collect what data, and sometimes to minimize in some application what to minimize the delay, to minimize what delay. So the low, as we see what the low latency here and reliability factors of the 5G are essential what for the IoT what applications, because low latency or low delay reliability is what the main factors for the what for the IoT what applications. For example, here the vehicles and sensor can what connect to the internet using 5G networks. Also 5G is also need for IoT application with the different bandwidth and data rate, including one non-standard transmissions. Adaptability is important also. That's what the 5G has what good adaptability, and it's what very important in the what IoT applications. In the IoT what application, because the requirements for transmissions rate, transmission repeatability and traffic what change. So this is what the main work factor, but sometimes there is leak of in 5G for the what IoTs. Still what the challenge of the IoT the challenges of the IoT application is still what in the 5G, and 5G cannot what or could not till so far what could not find solution for this. That's why 6G, we are waiting from 6G to provide this solution for the what for this what challenges. So as you know, it will be what based on the upgrade 5G network infrastructure. 6G will use higher frequency bands. So this is what the main factor till now. It will use what high frequency bands than 5G. So from this, it will what provide what much faster speed and low latency compared to the what to the 5G because of the what of the high frequency. We can say what one here we can the 6G will use provide speed to 10 gigabit per second. The 5G now, but the maximum we cannot at the real you cannot see what 1 gigabyte, but they see that the 5G and the end of it stage will what provide 1 gigabit per second. If you see the general architectures agreed by ITU, now the general architecture of the 6G till now we don't know it. It's not agreed. The researchers are working to design this architecture, but 5G already it is what fixed, and here it's what based on the 4 components. Based on the what 4 components? Based on the radio access networks, based on the core network, based on the network segmentation and network function virtualization. This is what the 4 components of the, and we are not going now to this in details because of the what of the times. Where the main feature of the architecture is what M-core, one possible what 5G architecture that used what in the ME architecture is what designed to provide platform that enable what provisioning and scalability. This is what the main plus or the main plus of the what of the 5G networks. Problems of the 6G is of the researcher what is which here the future as we see it, the 6G is the future communication networks accepted to what in 2030 the nano antenna can be what installed at the various geographical locations. Here the nano one antenna due to the continued advancement that millimeter wave frequency are applicable for portable what communication, extensive what evaluation, and to one here we are talking about the 100 gigahertz and several what international what remote. 6G will what bring more benefits for different frequency. So it is what it can we see what it is fly networks. It would be it sometimes we call it what fly networks. Here the cost and the use of the what of the device. So this is what the main factors need to consider in the what in the 6G implementation. 6G what implementation. The cost of and the use of the various device, how we can integrate various devices in one networks, the maintenance cost, and the different what the different necessary of the what of the internet. Here also one of the requirements of the 6G implementation is what the use of new communication infrastructures. So totally will be the infrastructure of the 6G will be totally new, which include new architecture. Here we have 3 connection and very high data links using what terahertz, sub terahertz. Also, as we said, what here the 6G, as we see, what it should what the requirements of the artificial intelligence mechanism. The requirements of the what artificial intelligence what mechanism. So with the advent of the machine learning and artificial intelligence technology, as well as the huge growth of the IoT and smart what device, the 6G generation will be adopted to provide and optimize solutions, as we see it well. So here we have high bandwidth and high speed internet. Here some of the the average of speed and performance of the 6G. For example, the frequency will be, the 6G will operate the frequency between 100 gigahertz to 1 terahertz. So it will be less than 1, and it can provide higher frequency than 5G bandwidth. The peak download and speed is the 10 gigabits as peak download speed, and over 10 gigabits per second as we see upload speed. This is the speed of the internet in the 6G. So here, okay, here we have the comparing between the 4G and 5G and 6G. If you see the implementation, it's clear. The speed here, it will be less than gigahertz per second. Here in 5G, 1 gigabit per second, and in 4G from 2 megabit per second to 1 gigabit per second. Here it would be more than gigabit per second in 6G. The implementation, the technology that uses satellite networks in the 5G wireless networks, as we know, the standards WiMAX, SDMA of the standards of the multi-access technology, WiMAX, SDMA of DMA, and so on. Here GBS system, because as we see it, GLONASS and Galileo. The core network is all of them networks. Here also about the in different based on different factors in energy efficiency. For example, if you see the 6G, the energy efficiency is more than 5G. The speed also, I mean spectral efficiency here we have also. The air latency here less than 100, but here less than 1 millisecond. If you see here less than 1 millisecond. Connection density, reliability, and data peak. That is all. That's all. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, I am listening to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions from the participants?
Yes.
There is one question in the chat box. Can you read?
Please. Yes, please share your opinion on how Internet of Everything technology. How do you prepare? Thank you for the questions, Anastasia Stepanova from Russia. Как дела? Я учился там в России. Хорошо. Okay. In English I will be, because she is from Russia and I am talking and speaking in Russia also. About the Internet of Things, Internet of Everything. It is like what? Internet of Things. It is what? Internet of it is Internet of Things. But here we have the new versions of the Internet of Things. In Internet of Things, for example, we can say the making the decisions, the make of decisions in the Internet is not in highway or in high, but Internet of Everything is based on the what? Artificial intelligence. That's mean what? All the devices, the device receive the data from the sensors, from the all of things, process the data and make what? Make decisions using what? Machine learning, for example, using methods or using machine learning what else or artificial intelligence, what algorithms to make what decisions. And so this is what the difference between the Internet of Things and Internet of what? Everything. I hope I answered your questions. Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Okay,
Sir, I
thank you very
hope there
much.
are no questions.
Okay, yes. If you have any, if any student wants to to communicate with me, I will share my here email. Okay. 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 Thank you very much to host
Thank
me.
you so
and,
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, moving forward, I would like to call Dr. Abdullah. Dr. Abdullah is currently holding a position of assistant professor at Faculty of Computing and Information Technology at Sohar University. With an extensive academic background, he earned his BS degree in computer science from Jerash University, Jordan in 2004. In pursuit of further knowledge, he obtained his MSc degree in Intelligence System from North Malaysia University, Malaysia in 2007. Driven by the passion for research, he completed his PhD in Artificial Intelligence and Software Engineering from Malaysia National University, Malaysia in 2007. Welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Please proceed with the
Hello.
session.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning and good evening. I know that we have different participants from different countries. Dr. Mahmoud, thank you for your presentation. You take 10 minutes or 15 minutes from my time. So I think we need to manage I need to manage my presentation in less time as we are 3 presenters from Sohar University and we have 3 hours. So now we just have like 45 minutes, I know. So I will try to be on time. First of all, my name is Dr. Abdullah. I'm program coordinator here at Sohar University. My experience is related to artificial intelligence, information security, network. So I'm applying artificial intelligence in different area. Let me share my presentation. My presentation will concentrate in ethics and information security, actually. Okay. You can see the screen? Can
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. I will, the outline of this presentation will be talking about general idea about the future and the AI. I will talk about the main concept in information security. Then after that, I will focus in ethics. related to information security and AI. Actually, I tried to combine many concepts in this presentation, as this summer school is talking and containing a student from law departments and from IT departments and from different fields. So I will try to provide general concepts. I will not go in the technical part of anything. I hope so that this will be it's to be a benefit presentation for all of you. So first of all, I would talk about AI. So there is many saying from different people, famous people, they're talking about AI. They concentrate to say it about that we are going to the future of AI, require ongoing discussion, regulation, and policy change. So now we are having the AI in all our applications, in social media that we are working in until if you see now that ChatGPT, people are using ChatGPT worldwide as a student, as a staff, as employee. Some people, they are using ChatGPT in all their communication way. So we need policies, regulation to control the AI, and we need to implement the AI regarding the ethical way. So the success in creating effective AI could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization, or the worst. This is by Elon Musk. So we need to implement the AI carefully. As we know, the technology now is become a part of our life: manufacturing, healthcare, customer service, media, transportation. We implement the AI in everywhere. The fourth industrial revolution, as mentioned by Dr. Mahmoud before and Dr. Falah, related to many concepts like Internet of Things, data science, 5G technology, blockchain, smart city, and digital twin city. All of them need to control and located and under the umbrella of security and ethics. So all of these technology facilitate our life, but in the same time, it could break our privacy. It could break our information security. As you, I think all of these technology like cloud computing, blockchain, smart city, 5G technology, automation, all of it now it's become widespread in everywhere in the world. It's affect our life. If you heard about the concept of digital twin, the digital twin is the same as smart city, but it's the digital layer. So the smart city is the physical layer of that exists, which is related to physical environment, IoT devices. The digital twin is the simulation for that smart city. So to manage the smart city. So we have many facts about security. So humans are almost fully dependent in information technology, and that's if I ask you your money in the bank, if you want to withdraw money from ATM, from any place, you want to make transaction for your money, you are working with numbers. So you are transferring amount of money by just entering numbers. So it's data. So everything is data. Information security is not simple as it might first appear to the novice. So we need to consider and take it serious as the information security is secure our data. And now, as you know, that the data is could affect our life. User and system manager tend to not see the benefit of security until failure occur. And we face this is one of the main issues with the managers and the management and the stakeholder, that they are not trying to taking the security as a serious issue. They just usually, after they have a failure or they have attacked or hacked, they start to think in the security requirements. In general, hackers only need to find signal weakness. So the developer need to consider all weakness. Why these sentences come through? Because actually, as a developer, I need to cover all the vulnerability, all the weakness in my system. But the hackers always looking for just one single weakness, and that's enough for him. So there is a hacker attack every 39 seconds worldwide. This is one from the statistic that come from Kibernet in 2022. So the hacking is not that means someone stole the data. It could be any type of spread advertisement, spread wrong information, trying to steal some data, open back doors. So we have many type of threats on the online, and we have many type of attack. It's sometime we will talk about later on about passive and active attack. So information security usually is to protect the confidential and the private and sensitive information from unauthorized access or use or misuse or disclosure, modification or disruption. So I'm talking here about how I can protect my data from unauthorized access. So I have some data. This data could belong to me or could belong to my institute. So I need to protect this data from unauthorized access. That means there is some authorized access and some unauthorized access. And I'm protecting the data itself. When I'm talking about cybersecurity here, I'm protecting the network, the program from digital attack. So usually people can access to our data. Our data could be in our laptop, in our PC, in the data center of the institute. So they're trying to access this network from remote accessing. So network security, I need the network security. So I can prevent people from reach to my data from remote access. Information security management describe the set of procedure control the IT and the business organization implement to secure their information assets against threat and vulnerability. So, okay, I need to protect the data itself in my PC. I need to protect the data itself inside the server. I want also to make network security so no one can access the data remotely. Also, I need to manage my policies, procedure. So the procedure including many things like who can access here, access control list, under what condition he can access. I should follow up who is modify the data, who update the data, who the latest one delete the file. I need to have a procedure for everything. I should have at least cam, CCTV cam. I should lock the door. So the security is not just related to the information itself. I should have it at different layers, like physical layer. I should close the door. I should have a security bodyguards so they filtering the people who come inside the building. So the security is, let's say, it's a framework that including to manage our policy, human resource, physical resource, and software resource. So usually when I want to satisfy or secure any system, I need to satisfy security services. So mainly the main services and that we will know talking about it is to satisfy confidentiality for my data, integrity, and availability. So the data will be confidential. So just the authorized person who can access this data. Integrity. So I want to guarantee that my data is not changed. The email that I receive, no one modify that email. Availability. I have the right to access my driver. I have the right to access my data. So if I have problem to access my data that I'm authorized to access, here there will be some trouble in the availability service. Security mechanism. So how I can control and satisfy these security services, how I have confidentiality, how I have integrity, availability, and we have other services. And some example of mechanisms, I can have access control mechanisms. So I can control who access, when he access, what he can do exactly if he access. Sometime I have exceptions. Sometime I have a group of people who have the same level of authentication for doing something. Like I have managers, I have staff, I have students, all of them different group of authorization. So authentication is very important here. Encryption. So sometime I want to encrypt the data. What we mean by encryption? That's mean to make the data unreadable for unauthorized people. Unreadable, so I encrypt the data and make it unreadable for the person who don't have the key. So usually the algorithm, there's many algorithms related to encryption, like symmetric and asymmetric encryptions. So this algorithm have a key password. So if you don't have this password, you cannot rearrange the text in the right way or transform the text to be readable. Usually, I need to have security mechanisms to satisfy security services to protect myself from security attacks. So security attacks, I have two types of attacks, passive attack and active attack, and we will talk about them in the next slides. So I have a threat. So I have attack, I have a threat. So the threat related to the system vulnerability and end-quiet user experience. And what we mean by a threat is there is a difference between threat and attack. Yes, there is a difference. The attack, something already happened, and it's currently going on. So the threat is still the attack didn't happen. So the threat is the phase that come before the attack. So you feel threat before someone attack you. So that threat come from where? Come from the system vulnerability, the weakness of the system, and inadequate user experience. The user do some mistake. So that's causes a threat. So mainly we are concerned about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If I want to secure my system, I need to be sure that my system have confidentiality service, so the data is secured. So I should have a restriction. So just the authorized people in my institute can access this data. Different group of different group of employee can access different type of data. So the integrity. So I need to protect my data from any modification. And if there is some modification happening, I need to trace that who the user or who is the user that change or delete or update the data. The availability, I should have to access my data anytime I need. So if I have a problem in accessing the data, that's mean there is a problem in the availability service. So one of the attack that happened before a couple of years, ransomware. If you heard about ransomware, so the ransomware is one of the attacks that happened some hackers, they attack the servers. They encrypt the data inside your PC, as an example, or inside your server, and they say to you, you pay money, I will let you see your data. If you didn't pay money, I will just left the data with you, but it's encrypted. You cannot access the data. So what they do, they just encrypt the data and keep the data with you. So if you want to open and see your data or decrypt the data and you need the password, you need to pay money. So this is ransomware. So the data is become not available for you because it's encrypted. So that's mean the ransomware attack is just make the data unavailable. So that's missing of the availability of the data. In general, always hackers trying to do three main things. They're trying to disclosure the data, so reveal the information. They are unauthorized to see the data, but they're trying to reveal the data. And sometime it's happened. Some hackers they're trying to just hacking. It's happened before, like 7 years, I think. One of the banks is hacked by a group of hackers who just steal information, customer information, including their credit card, ID, account, and passwords. And guess what they did? They didn't take money. They just taken the information and separated in the internet. So they just taking the credit card numbers with the password and they published in the internet. So they disclosure the data. Alteration, they try always to update and modify the data to miss the integrity of the data. So disclosure will miss the confidentiality, and alteration will miss the integrity, and destruction that's something to destroy, to make something not available. So it's will defeat the availability. So mainly these services, example of that services, like as example, a staff in company have the permission to access certain website, but unfortunately he couldn't log in. So what's that? Which services is it? They missing with the availability or access control or integrity or authentication? What's your mind? I need answer. Write in the chat. You can write in the chat. Anyone? So if the staff cannot access in the company, they have the permission to access certain website, but unfortunately he or she could not log in. He couldn't log in. That's mean he okay, that's part of the permission, so that you write authentication. But if you see here, he have the permission to access, but he couldn't log in. So the services become for him is not available. Consider a person using online learning service to do the exam. For sure, we can say that this is including authentication, the first one, but mainly the services become not available for him. When I say authentication, that means there is a wrong with the with authentic person. This is authentic or not authentic? So consider a person using online learning service to do an exam. Both the user and the course coordinator should be assured from identify each other. So that's happened usually when you receive email. Okay, we are the company X and we will hire you. So how you sure that this company is really a shell company, as an example? How they sure also that you are my name Abdullah? So how they sure that I am Abdullah? So they need authentication. The authentication, that's mean they provide you any way to be sure that you are the person who you are claiming, because sometimes there is many fake emails that you receive that we are a company, or you win a car, you win a money. So that's become now fraud around. You can find it everywhere. In online banking, a user may be allowed to see the balance, but not allowed to make any transaction for some of his account. So I can control his access to his balance. Why? Because sometimes you can see the balance, but you cannot do any transaction. Why? Because you don't have money. Maybe you have just $1, so you cannot make transaction. So this is one of the conditions. So you can access for certain information and do certain process. So if John discovered that someone modified his data in social media, so that's mean there's some problem in the integrity. So these type of services. Now, these services need mechanisms. So usually we have different type of mechanism. We have encryption, we have digital signature, access control, digital envelope, traffic padding, routing control, encryption, data integrity. So there is many mechanisms. I will not go to explain each one of them, but what I need to highlight that these mechanisms aim to detect the attack. So prevent the attack, trying to prevent the attack in the beginning. If there is attack happened, I can detect it. These mechanisms can detect this attack, and what's the response to it, and or how you recover from it. So now, usually the response to the attack, that's one of the main things that we should concern about. As an example, I give you, if there is a fire happened in the building, what's the first reaction from you? So the first reaction is very important. Sometimes it will make the problem worse. Sometimes it will try to minimize the problem. So the response in the first response is very sensitive in the attacks. That's mean someone attack your server. What you will do? You will cut the electricity, or what you will do? You will disconnect the internet. Yeah, okay. So that's true. So you need to, if there is a fire, you need to concern about something related to people's life. Anyway, I'm talking when we're talking about information, when we're talking about hacking, attacking. So what's the first response? You need to cut it, the electric, disconnect the internet only. Do you need to try to inform your manager first? So you have many options. So the response itself, it could, as I said, increase the potential or the harming for the attack. Now, in general, in information security, any weakness called vulnerability. The name of the weakness is vulnerability. So loss of integrity or loss of confidentiality or loss of availability, like corrupted, leaky, or unavailable or very slow service could affect and could happen because the weakness that I have in my system. Usually, this weakness will increase the threat. So if I have many vulnerability in my system, that's mean I could think about that the threat will increase. So my system will be capable of exploiting vulnerability and making a harm to the asset that I have. So now, after I have the threat, if I have weakness, for sure I have threats. That's mean I could be able to receive attacks. So I have different type of attacks. This attack could be insider or outsider. So what we mean by insider? So this attack come from inside the institute. Outsider, it's come from outside the institute. So anyone can tell me which one is more dangerous, inside or outside the attack? Which attack will be more harm in my asset, in my information? Insider attack or outsider attack? Which one is difficult to deal with, is difficult to detect? Yeah, somehow you can say insider, because yeah, both of them are attacks and both of them will harm me. So I think the inside attack is more risky. Why the insider attack more risky? Because if the attack is come from inside, that means the person who did the attack is working in the company, or he already inside the building. He is already have the ability to go around and reach any point. He can steal the passwords. He understand the policy. He understand the rule, so he can be more risky than someone outside the organization, which is you can just trying to stop them by using firewall or preventing systems. Another direction of attack, I can classify the attack to be insider and outsider. Also, I can classify the attack to make it passive and active. What we mean by passive attack and active attack? Passive attack, this attack doesn't affect the system resource. Like as example, eavesdropping. Eavesdropping, that means someone monitoring your information, but you cannot feel that someone monitoring your information. So he just monitoring your information, seeing the information. He didn't do anything. He didn't delete the information. He didn't stop you from seeing the information. He just affect the confidentiality of the data. So he just seeing the data. Active attack, it's attempt to alter the system resource and affect their operation. And that's related to different type, like masquerade, someone pretending to be another one, and he trying to steal, change the data. So passive attack and active attack are different actually. The passive attack, okay, someone monitoring your data, monitoring your communication, trying to detect information, collect information about you, but they're saying that the passive attack is difficult to detect and easy to prevent. Easy to prevent. While the active attack, they say that is difficult to detect, easy to detect, and difficult to prevent. So anyone can justify why passive attack is difficult to detect and easy to prevent, and active attack the reverse wise, which is easy to detect but is difficult to prevent. So let's say about detect. Passive attack is difficult to detect, but active attack is easy to detect. How that's come? Because passive attack, someone is monitoring you and he didn't do any change. He didn't delete file. He didn't modify the information. He didn't do anything that you can notice him. So it's difficult to detect. Difficult to detect the passive attack. And active attack, if the attack has happened and someone changing your data, encrypt your data, disclosure your data and publish your data, so it's easy to detect because you can see the action that he did. So a passive attack is easy to difficult to detect and easy to prevent, because usually the passive attack, someone wants to monitor your information, stealing your information. So it's difficult to detect, but you can prevent that by using firewall, by using different mechanisms, security mechanism that stop people from eavesdropping or monitoring you. But the active attack is already happened. So the attack already happened, and I'm now in the middle of the attack. So how I prevent it is difficult to prevent because he become in the second phase. So usually, if you see all of these concepts, they are related to each other. So I have many weaknesses in my system, and that causes a threat. And this threat lead me to attacks, and these attacks could come from inside or outside. But in the beginning, the attack will be passive. So before he attack you, before he delete your information, before he trying to explore your data and trying to see unencrypt your encryption data, he will try to do passive attack. He will try to monitoring you, checking your emails without you notice. Then after that, he do his attack, which is active attack. So it's like a sequence of activities. So you have weakness, treat, now, when I'm talking about ethics in information security, usually the success in the digital economy requires an organization not only to be aware of, but actively adopt ethical values. Humans are very important to be aware that the ethical value will lead to make the institute success. When you want to, if you, as a student, later on, you will go and work in any company, an institute, you need to be work under ethical umbrella. Why? Because actually, sometime you need to, we have ethical policy inside the institute first. We need to follow up to work in harmony environment that not harm my system, not harm my software, not harm my data. So the use of information technology should be based on integrity, trust, responsibility, and excellence. So I have people, colleagues with me who are working with me. I need sometime, if you are working as a higher level, like managers, like as an example, when you become head of department, so you will receive in some university, as an example, you will receive a moderation or for the exam or final exam. So it's not ethical to do any mistake related to some data or lose data that harm your colleagues. Many potential misuse or abuses of information and electronic communication that create privacy and security problems. Sometimes ethical mistakes could harm people privacy and including your own privacy or the personal privacy, or sometimes the security or the privacy of the company. Now, if you have a company and you have a customers, and these customers have data in your company, they have communication, emails, and any part of their personal information. Sometimes they don't like to share. So I give you example. We have this problem usually, which is you are receiving now many emails and you are receiving many SMS in your phone. How they get your numbers, how they target you. So is it someone leak your information that you are a young man between 20 and 30, so they target you in the advertisement? So that's very dangerous. That's unethical. If they just selling your data to other organization, and that's happened actually now. The data is very expensive, so people trying to buy the data to target their customer. Now, when I say ethics, sometimes I think in law. So what's the difference between ethics and law? Is it they are same? Anyone can answer me? Is it ethics and law are same? Mainly, is it any main difference between them? Someone may be thinking that they are going in the same direction, right? But they are different, right? So law is a set of rules and regulation created by government to govern the whole society. So is universal, accepted, recognized, and enforced. So you should implement the law. So you cannot just say, I don't want to do or follow the law. The break of law may result a punishment or penalty, right? But if I'm talking about ethics, is moral philosophy that guide people about what is good and what is bad. Is a standard of how person should live and interact with other people. It's a means the science of standard human conduct. So every person is equal in the eyes of law and ethics. Nobody is superior or inferior. Or we can say it should be like this, but in the real world, that not always happened, which is it all people equal in the eyes of law and ethics? There is no superior people. There is. So that's one of the main issue that the world are facing usually. So we have something illegal, which is against law. We have something unethical, which is against ethics. So like telling lies is no one will follow or harm you from the law side, but it's considered as ethical issue. Not wearing seat belt is illegal. So carrying a knife in a public, mainly this one is what? Yeah, sometimes we can consider both of them, but mainly is what? What you meant? Anyone? Carrying a knife in the public place. Yeah, it's illegal. So that's for sure. If some police find you, he will put you in the jail. You cannot carry a knife in the public. Riding bicycle without lights at night, and that's illegal. Buying a pirate DVD, and that's can consider here and here. Skipping the far in the bus, that's illegal. Chopping down a very old tree in your property. So what's your mind here? If you just cut a old tree, which is a big tree in your property, it could be unethical, yeah, because it's fine, it's your property. So there is sometime you can find some many action is unethical and it's illegal. Acting ethically and legally are not always the same. So sometime you need to aware that sometime you are behaving in legal way, but it's unethical. So like testing medicine on animal is illegal in many countries, but some people believe it's not ethical. So there is a difference. So organizations strive to build corporate culture based on ethical principle. So if the organization culture represent how we do things around here, the ethical culture represent how we do things around here in relation to ethics and ethical behavior in the organization. So that's mean anything I want to do in the organization should think in the ethical perception. The biggest issue surrounding information security is not technical issue, but people issue. And this is one of the main things that usually harm security. So the culture and the people within the organization are just as likely to be a source of data leakage. I give you an example. Usually the security break come from people from inside the institute, maybe intentionally or unintentionally. So sometime you can find, as an example, I forget the access card to access the company. So I will wait my friend. Oh, hello, John. I forget my access card. Can you let me in with you? He will say, oh, for sure, come in. So that is a good behave, but it's actually, if you think about it, it's illegal, and that could harm the institute. So always the security issue is come from a human, because the human always behave related to his feeling, against the policy or the security policy. People not reading the security policy, they just scroll down and they say agree, right? So they should be aware when you are working in any company, you need to read the policy, you need to see what I should do in certain action. Like as example, I find my friend, he forget the card. Okay, I will say to him, according to the policy, please go to the guard office and let them give you a temporary permission to access the company. So there is a legal way to do that in the right way, because sometimes I don't know about my friend. Maybe he received yesterday an email that he should be out of the institute, right? So I'm trusting my friend, but I should follow the policy, and I cannot just let our feeling guide us. So information security and ethics are fundamentally related to the privacy of my information, of the company information, customer information. Information privacy concern with the proper handling of data, consent, notice, and regulatory obligation. Practical data privacy concern and often revolve around whether or how the data is shared with the third parties, how data is legally collected or stored, and they are following the procedures of the regulation like GDPR, HIPAA, and CCPA. So usually when you want to put any ethical implement the ethical and make the ethical as a culture in your institute, you should just provide more workshop, more seminars for your staff, try to make the awareness of the ethics problem. Now, you know, usually our university now in the Faculty of IT, we are following ACS, the Australian Society Club, Computer Science. So this one of the accreditation body. This accreditation body is force us to include ethics inside 8 courses in our courses, in our matrix, and this is including course learning outcome, course material, and course assessment. So the ethics should be part in every level in the bachelor degree. So usually now all the institute or the company, they have the concern about ethical issues in different levels. Now, what's the benefit of implementing ethics? It's enhance the trust among user, the customer, and stakeholder. Building this trust is one of the many one of the important things that we should have in our institute, in our company. I should build the trust with the customer, with the stakeholder, because anyway, I need the benefit for my business. So I need to build the trust, reputation, and credibility. So I should enhance the reputation because I'm working an ethical way regarding to the ethical characteristics. Legal and regulatory compliance, I should behave ethical because usually the ethical will help organization to comply with the law and regulation. Risk mitigation. When I'm talking about risk mitigation, that's if I'm working in ethical way, I will reduce the risk security breach or data breach or another cyber threats. So sometimes you can find that there is no law prevent you from giving information, but from ethical side, for my customer, I need to not do that. So ethical can give me benefit for my company, for my institute in indirect way. Indirect way, that's mean yeah, it's not direct, I'm following the law, but in indirect way, it's let my customer trusting me and invest more in my company. So what about artificial intelligence? We know that now artificial intelligence is a part of our life. So I should follow also ethics in artificial intelligence. So AI is a technology designed by a human to replicate and augment or replace human intelligence. Code of ethics for AI guide organization on how to embed ethical thinking in our business. I need to think in ethical way. I can implement AI to do many things. The AI is just a system. It can do many things in automation way, in a smart way. But is it in ethical way? It's based on the human who did this intelligent system. So I need to consider the ethical culture to drive the vision of AI. So usually I should follow the main value of ethics, which is honesty, trust, boldness, freedom, and modesty. 5 areas of ethical I need in AI: accountability, value alignment, explainability, fairness, and user data right. And these all of things that you can do it by AI. So the AI should be monitored to satisfy these 5 areas. So if the AI doing something, he should explain for me. He should have the ability to explain his decision. He making a decision, but why he make this decision? Based on what? Based on which historical data? Is this historical data ethical collected? When they collect the data, they consider the right, the user data right, privacy, the fairness. So that's what I should focus on. So, okay, I know that the AI system will do something, but he will do intelligent and automatic thing based on information. This information, this historical information that he learned from, is it collected in the right way, in ethical way? So that's need to be monitored. So like as example, let's have an example about hotel. That hotel implement AI. So the ability for guests to turn off the AI at any point during the stay. Is they have the ability to turn off the AI? Now, sometime if you go to the hotel, like, you know, like when I'm talking about Siri, hello Siri, I need to call a number. Hello Siri, I need to have a bottle of water. So that's mean Siri, the assistant who help you, the AI assistant, is listening to your conversation continuously. Why? Because if you say Siri, she will say yes. If you didn't say Siri, she will not respond you. So it's keeping listening to you. That's mean anything inside the hotel will be recorded. Why? Because Siri is looking for you call her. So that's mean everything are recording. So the AI hotel assistant is designed to not keep any data or monitor the guest. So the right policy for this is that, okay, Siri is continue listening, but like as example, each 5 minutes, if you didn't call her, she should delete all the information. Okay, the system will keep listening you, but each 5 minutes it should delete the information. So that's he cannot save your information. But that's happened. That's need ethical way from the hotel himself. So yeah, the law said to him, you should delete the information each 5 minutes. But if they implement in an ethical way, he can easily record all your actions inside the room. The AI offer recommendation for places to visit during this stay. As an example, I ask the Siri, I'm here in Oman. Please recommend for me one hotel, one restaurant. So now, is the AI give me information? Okay, go to X restaurant. Why he choose this restaurant? Is it there is an ethical? They collect the information in ethical way, or it's directed to this restaurant because who did the AI system? He support that person or that company. So please visit during their stay. The guest can ask why these recommendations are made. Why, Siri? Why, Siri, you choose this restaurant? I need justification. So AI should explain that. Which set of data is being utilized to make them, and how you get this data, why you say that. So we need ethical way to explain things. So how can we ensure that the data, the user data, including detail related to the race, gender, and AI usage, is responsible managed without engaging in targeted marketing or practices that discriminate against specific demographics? Sometimes they can direct the AI system to choose a specific thing that they are looking for. So I think this is the last slide. I'm sorry that I take the whole time, extra time, right? AI has revolutionized social media, offering a rich and enjoyable experience to the users. The AI can analyze the billion of social media posts to detect early signs of public health issues and emergencies. So AI analyze the data in your social media. Based on that analyzing, he can provide information. He using deep learning algorithm to predict the user personality traits and preference from social media activity. He can see what you are accessing, what you are watching, how long you watch. Like you are opening video, you watch that video until the end, and what that video tagged for, so he can build your profile. So each one of you have a profile about his behavior in social media. AI-powered sentiment analysis help business understand customer opinion. Sometimes the business people trying to buying this information to understand how they can attract their customers. Our information across different profiles, social media platform can be interconnected various purposes. You have a Instagram, you have profile, you have YouTube, you have all of them actually together. They collect the information to provide you with a more advertisement. Users should be aware of data sharing practices and understand the implication of interconnected information. You should be aware about any practice that you did. It could be collected, and it's a data. Now, how the advertisement come to your Facebook as an example? Why? Because they're targeting you. Like as example, female between 20 and 25 old, student, and usually she looking for makeup, and so they're targeting your behavior, your action in the media, your profile, your biodata, your age. So all of this could lead to direct the advertisement to certain to come to you. So that's all for my presentation. I'm sorry for taking the long time. Please, if you have any question, I can answer.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions from the participants? Anyone, any questions?
Is it I take yeah, okay, 10 minutes extra. So I think okay, this is my email in the chat. If you are concerned about any question related to information security, forensic, AI, I'm ready to answer any question related to these areas.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this informative session. Thank you, Dr. Fala, Dr. Abdullah, and Dr. Mahmood. It was a very knowledgeable and interactive session by you, and having you here with us today was very delightful. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for the session.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
Mr.
much.
Serge.
Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Good luck all.
Thank you so much.
Happy nice. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you for the organization. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. I will attach the file. Okay, just give me someone asked the attachment, so I will just attach the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, have a nice day and goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.